I have two things I need to nitpick with you. The first is I need you to explain yourself about Bright because I saw that comment in that essay and I was like, what are you talking about? To be like, oh, I thought the story was fine, or I thought it was funny or good acting. The one thing you can't say about Bright is that it has promising world building. It has to be the worst world building I've ever come across. It's so thoughtless. I need you to explain yourself.
Okay. So you hear, like back up before you've seen it, and you hear the premise is that all of these mythical different creatures are living in the modern world and they each have their own city, and it's how do these cultures of the elves and the dwarves and whatever, and then like some of them are in New York and some of them are in Chicago or whatever, and like how do they interact with each other in modern times?
Mm-hmm.
Stop. That's amazing. I love
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
There's so much potential in that world building.
I
End of
see what you're
statement.
saying. I see what you're saying. The problem is the film it's contained within.
Yes.
I was trying to explain to one of my because when I saw that comment, I was like, this fucking guy. We were at the pub on the weekend. I was trying to explain to a buddy of mine like what my issue with Bright is, because he's like, I vaguely remember that film being fine, and I was like, no, you don't. It's bad. Like, okay, the orcs are clearly supposed to be an allegory for race in some way, right? Like, they're ostracized. Humans are like the default, and elves are like some upper echelon of class society, right? There's some metaphor happening with the magical races and then humans. And there's like implicit metaphor in the fact that there's something called a bright, and that's like some other class of human being that is exceedingly rare or something. The problem is they keep all of these real world events as history and reference points that wouldn't have happened if there was a Dark Lord and these orcs were What I'm saying is that Alamo would not. That doesn't make sense because you already have a racially othered group in the orcs, but like regular racism and regular chattel slavery still existed. That doesn't make any sense. And then to make matters worse, Will Smith's character at the start of the film says, fairy lives don't matter today, which implies it's a riff on Black Lives Matter, which means that the Black Lives Matter movement happened in the Bright universe, but it wasn't serious enough to be coded as anything other than a joke about these fairies. It's fucking batshit. And then a bunch of the orcs are wearing like do-rags. It's just bizarre. Anyway, what's in the film is terrible. And really poorly thought out and pretty embarrassing in my opinion.
That's literally what I was gonna say, is that I think that you have already put more thought into it than
they did when
because
they were
I could
writing it.
easily like I could easily just see them going, yeah, like these are the thugs and they're wearing the do rags, and like that they didn't think anything beyond that sentence, you know.
Yes.
And then you come in and review it and you're like, but the Alamo they did this and this, and they're like, what?
But the thing that's weird is like you're probably right. The thing that's funny to me though, the more that I've thought about Bright is like it super feels like a film where there was one draft of the film and then they quickly rewrote it at the last minute as they were shooting or something like that. Because there's a bunch of stuff in Bright that feels like it's set up that never gets paid off. And I think it's pretty classic, like, film getting remade at the last second, not enough planning, not enough time, like it's classic Netflix. But the reason why I wanted to bring it up is I think it's a really good example of media literacy and world building where Netflix have this thing that you talked about, and I was trying to find the source and I couldn't either, but they call it like they have two types of content that they pay for, that they pay to get made, or they pay to acquire. There's like watch content, and then there's second screen content, which is the most cursed idea ever.
Right.
Which is like the notion that like this is supposed to be put on in the background while you're using a phone. it's like, guys, come. I think that's how you get to this level of like film, because like I don't think that anyone, any level of media literacy in the edit bay, would let you get past some of these lines that they keep in the film. And it's possible they don't have alternate takes, but like it would make sense. They just went, fuck it, we don't care. Like this is second screen entertainment. We don't really like. I think what I'm saying is like I think I agree with you. I think they literally didn't think about it, or whoever was doing the edit or the cut or was in charge of like final script approval literally didn't care, because they weren't being paid to care, if that makes sense.
I am immediately reminded of the Community episode where they are trying to make a movie and they have a day to film it, and they're like, "Come on, we got to get it done. We got to get it." And poor Abed is like, "But the quality, the the
That's right,
artistry."
because he's like, I'll only do it if it's not a piece of crap. And Jeff is like, yeah, it won't be a piece of crap. We're definitely making a piece of crap though.
Mhm.
That is a very good episode. That's in the last season as well, isn't it? Season 6.
Yeah, it's late.
Yeah.
But that's like what so many of the studios are doing is we got to put out some crap because either we got to use up our budget or we promised Netflix we'd give them something, or whatever the reason is. Because yeah, there's not a good excuse for so much that gets made.